This is Jackie at the workshop, and today I am going to be teaching you our melt class. Melt is by far the most popular class at the workshop. It is a stretch class, so today I'm going to be demoing all the exercises with a ring. You probably don't have a ring, and that's okay. We can use a belt, a towel, anything that is going to be long enough for you to hold in your hands while you have it wrapped around your feet. And then we're also going to be using a foam roller. At the studio, we have these full body size foam rollers, but if you have a half size one, that will work too. So we're going to start with our ring or a band, whatever you can find, and then lie down onto your back. So once you get onto your back, you can set your ring off to the side of your mat for a minute. We're going to start with some spinal articulation. So in order to find the most space in our low back, we're going to take the feet out wide on the mat. Relax the arms down by the side. Take a deep breath in and start to curl your pelvis in and roll up on your spine. You're going to come all the way up to your T-point, so the space between your shoulder blades. Try to relax out of your shoulders and then roll back down nice and slow, one vertebrae at a time. If I keep my heels anchored, I feel a little stretch through the quads and through the low back. Release the tuck of the tailbone and then start to scoop and roll back up. We want to move nice and slow here, allowing the back of the body and the posterior chain to warm up. And let's do two more here. Start to link your movement with your breath. And then on your last one, we're going to roll all the way up and hold. Take a moment to pause at the top, come out of the shoulders, and then melt back down onto the mat as slowly as you can, allowing the front of the body to support the work that's happening in the back of the body. And then once your tailbone touches the mat, let both knees drop over to the right, and then you can look over your left shoulder. Take a deep breath in there, come back through center, let both knees drop over to the left, and look over your right shoulder. We'll come back through center here and extend the legs out. So a little bit of sneaky Pilates work in here. We are going to transition with a few roll-ups. It's a great place to check in with what's happening in our spine and the back of our body. So we're going to inhale to reach the arms up overhead. And as you exhale, nice and slow, start to roll yourself up. Chin comes into the chest. I'm going to flex my feet back so I can move through my low back and reach for your toes. If you can't reach your toes, it's okay. You're going to inhale to sit up nice and tall, restack the spine, and much like our spinal articulation, I'm going to start to roll back down one vertebrae at a time. Normal things that are going to happen, my feet are going to move as my spine tries to find some space. Inhale as the arms come back up overhead, and then exhale, start to roll up. My chin is going to tuck into my chest first so that my head and neck are supported through this movement, this flexion in the spine. Reach forward. And then let's do one more time going down. Take a deep breath in. Start to articulate all the way back down through the spine, finding some space through the tailbone, and release the arms down by the side. From here, locate your ring or your band, whatever you're using, and then go ahead and take it into both hands. We're going to take the left foot up into your ring first and press up to straighten out the leg. So a couple things here while we're holding this stretch might help distract you if you have tiny hamstrings, is that we have a tendency here to sort of try to bypass the hamstring by turning the toes out. So try to use the ring or the band to pull the foot in so that you can clearly see all 5 toenails on the left leg. And then we don't want to compromise the shoulders and neck for the sake of the stretch. So I want you to bend your knee if you need to. I'm trying to imagine that my foot is pressing up into the ceiling so that it's flat. And I'm trying to pull the top half of my foot down towards my chest so that I can find a lot of space through the back of the leg. I'm going to just take a few deep breaths here. And then keeping the ring or band in my right hand, I'm going to start to come across the body for my IT band stretch. Nobody likes this one. I'm going to take a C shape with my left hand and kind of jam it into my hip here to help promote an internal rotation of the leg. If you're visual, we can think about our IT band like the outside seam of the pant. We want to try to move the leg inside of the hip so my pelvis is stable and I'm stretching through the outside of the leg. Try to relax the arm. And then if you want more for some reason here, you can take an underhand grip and pull in a little tighter. And let's just take 2 more deep breaths there. Last one here, coming back through center, bend the knee, extend the left leg out. We're going to take the right leg up into the ring now, same thing. Push the leg to straight. We want to try to bring the foot to flat. So you're pointing through the toes, try to relax so that we get a stretch through the Achilles and the rest of the posterior chain. I'm going to press through my heels and pull my toes down. If you need to bend your knees, you can bend your knees. My shoulder blades are flat on the mat. I'm just going to take a few breaths there. You can take that underhand grip if you want a little bit more. And then keeping the ring or band in your left hand, start to come across the body. Normal to be tighter on one side than the other, so just see where you're at, start small, and then if you want to take that right hand and help with the rotation of the leg, you can. This is not a twist, so my hips are not lifted. I'm grounded through my tailbone, and I'm trying to think about my femur, my thigh bone moving inside of the hip socket. We'll take just a few more deep breaths there. Last one, come back through center and release. You can set the ring off to the side of your mat. We'll just take a few windshield wipers here, so feet go wide, toes point forward, and just start to rock the legs side to side. We want to try to move the knee down towards the opposite foot. So if you don't have that range of motion because of tight quads or any discomfort in the knee, that's okay. Let's do 3 more. And last one. Stretch your legs out. We'll check in with that roll up, especially now that the hamstrings are a little bit more awake. Flex your toes back, reach your arms up, take a deep breath in, and then on your exhale, we're tucking chin into your chest, rolling up nice and slow, 1 vertebrae at a time. Draw your legs together at the top of your mat and forward fold. If you can't reach your feet, it's okay. I can't even see you. Nobody's even watching you right now. Go where you can with it and then release the head and neck down. Take a deep breath in here and slowly start to roll up. We're going to use our foam roller now, so grab your foam roller. If you have a half-size foam roller, just try to line it up as best as you can, shoulders distance apart, so that you have a good amount of space for your hands. And we're going to start with the foam roller on the left side of the body, just so we can remember where we are with our Z translation. So if you're familiar with Pilates, we're going to sit in our Z translation with our left leg out in front and our right leg back behind us. You can also sit crisscross if this is a little too much on the knees or hips. And then I'm going to take my left hand onto the foam roller. So we want to be careful that we're not working behind the shoulder joint. We want to be out in front. So top third of the foam roller is a good place to start. I have lots of space here with my hips and my shoulders. I can scoot this back knee out if I need a little bit more. We're going to take a deep breath in and start to push the foam roller away from the body as we sweep the right arm out. I'm looking for my points of length here to be my right wrist and my right knee. So once I get there, I'm going to take a deep breath in and pull the foam roller back in as I re-snap through my spine. Let's do that 2 more times. And then on your last one here, sweep all the way around and push the foam roller as far away from your body as you can. As I press into this rotation, I'm trying to even out my shoulders and my ribs with the floor. Once I get there, I'm going to take a deep breath in And exhale as I soften the ribs back together. This is too much for your hips for whatever reason. You can always take that right leg and extend it out nice and long. Let's take a deep breath in here and then start to roll the foam roller back in. Find a bit of extension at the top. And then we're going to unravel the body and rotate over to the right side. I like to create a little bit of traction here for my neck and shoulders by pulling on my left knee and then softening and rounding out through the spine. Let's take a deep breath in here and slowly start to roll back up. We're going to switch the legs first before we move the foam roller over. So right leg is going to go out in front, left leg is going to go back behind you, and then move the foam roller over. That way we know we're in the right spot. So give yourself some space, especially if you have tight hips. And we're going to take the right hand onto the foam roller, left arm is going to extend out to the side. Take a deep breath in and start to push the foam roller away. Reach long through the fingers. We're looking left wrist, left knee now. Inhale into that space and start to pull back in. I like to think of the ribs as an accordion here. So as I start to spread them out, I'm breathing into the soft space between them, our intercostal muscles, and then pulling myself back up. The last one here, we're going to rotate all the way around. Elbows or hands, whatever feels good. Push that foam roller out as far as you can. We have lots of access with the breath to the left lungs. Inhale into that space. And exhale as you soften. Let's do that one more time. And start to walk the hands back in. We're going to take it into a little bit more extension work, but we are going to warm up with a couple cat-cows. Our spine doesn't love extension work. It's good for it, but it doesn't love it, so we want to kind of warm it up and ease it into it. If the foam roller here is too much for you, you can always bring your hands flat onto the mat, but we're going to take the hands on top of the foam roller. Just watch that you're not rolling back onto the wrist. So if I look at my wrists, I want them to be stacked up onto the foam roller. It requires a very minimal amount of balance. I'll inhale as I look up and arch the back, and then exhale as you start to move from the tailbone. Think of our spinal articulation. Tuck the chin into the chest and look between the legs. Inhale as you come back up. When we work in extension in Pilates, our goal is not to pick the face up as high as we can. We're reaching through the crown of the head to find some length through the cervical spine. Exhale as you round back out. Think about tucking the tail between your legs here. Let the head hang heavy. Let's do one more big inhale here. Filling up the lungs and the front of the body with air. Exhale as you release all of that air. Pushing up through the hands, the knees, finding the most space you can between the spine, between the vertebrae, and bring it back to your neutral spine. From here, we're going to gently come down onto our belly and send the foam roller out towards the top of the mat. Just a quick note about extension. When we are talking about extension in Pilates, it's coming from the space between our shoulder blades, not our low back. Our low back curves in, so it likes to curl up in our extension, but we want to try to work it in our thoracic spine. If you have anything going on with your back, you want to take as wide set as you can on the mat, or maybe even think about bending the knees and crossing the ankles. You also don't have to use the foam roller if it's too much for you. If you have a little half foam roller, you might just want to use your hands here just so you can balance out. I'm going to send the arms out, resting the heel of my hand on my foam roller, and then drop my forehead down onto the mat. I want to take a couple deep breaths here just to lengthen out through the spine. And then on my next inhale, I'm going to start to push into the hands to just gently lift myself into extension. My eyes are going to stay on the foam roller the entire time. I'll exhale as I press back out and away. Inhale as I come up, pushing down into the pubic bone to find some space in the rest of my spine. My arms are shaky from that weights video. And then exhale as I push away. And the last time here. And release all the way out. Push that foam roller away and then push yourself back into a child's pose. Bring your knees together so that you can find the best stretch through your low back. Tuck your chin into your chest. And then bring it forward. We're going to finish off here just with a little rotation in our thoracic spine to thread the needle. Again, our goal with our thoracic spine is not to twist as much as we can. There's a very minimal amount of rotation in that space. So I'm going to take my left hand underneath my right. Start on your elbow first. And then as you feel the rotation sort of come naturally in that part of the spine, you can walk the hand out and rest on your shoulder. Knees can walk in if you want a little bit more. And then you can also take a bind here, wrapping the arm around the body. The rotation in this part of the spine is really small. I get about 30 degrees in a healthy spine, so we're not concerned with being able to look up at the ceiling. Let's take a deep breath in here. Send the right arm out to push yourself up and move to the other side. Start small and then add in the rotation as it feels good. Take a deep breath in here and come back through center. We're going to finish class by lying down on our foam roller. So we're going to support the sacrum with the foam roller. We want to make sure that it's not resting on the low back, or it's not too low that we're not getting the support of the weight of our pelvis. So if you don't have a foam roller, you can use a yoga block. You can also use a stack of books, anything that gives you enough surface area for that part of the pelvis. We'll go ahead and lie down onto our back, and then our feet are going to be in our hook lying position. So feet are going to be flat on the mat, and then press into the feet to lift the hips and slide whatever you're using underneath the sacrum. So again, it's not too high that we're getting into the low back, and it's not too low that we're sinking into a flexed spine. Somewhere right in the middle. If we think about our pelvis as an upright bowl in this position, we want to try to find that neutral where I'm not going to be spilling anything. I'm just kind of holding that weight perfectly in the center of my body. It's going to allow my spine to relax, and it's going to allow my hips to relax. So from here, let the palms flip up and the chest open, spreading through the ribs and the clavicle. You can bring the knees together, let them open, whatever feels good for you. And we're just going to hold here for about 60 seconds. Wherever you're at with your breath, just try to release it to free the breath. And we want to feel the weight of the shoulders supported on the mat, the back of the head supported on the mat. And start to think about relaxing all the muscles in the face, around the mouth, between the brows. Maybe walking the head up the mat a little bit to find some space where we are all very tight. And for the last few breaths here, we'll start to take it into our 3-point breath, inhaling through the nose, up through the chest, all the way into the belly. And then out the belly, out the chest, out the mouth. As you inhale, feel the body rise against gravity. And as you exhale, feel yourself softening down into that foam roller and the mat. Last time here, big inhale. And exhale out the mouth. Release all the air from the body. Breathe the breath, just breathing regularly. We're going to press into the feet to lift the hips, and then slowly articulate back down onto the mat, feeling a little extra space in the low back. Let your pelvis, your sacrum get heavy on the ground, and just take a few deep breaths here into our neutral spine. So when we talk about neutral spine in Pilates, we're heavy through the rib cage, slight lift in the low back, and heavy through the tailbone. We'll take one more deep breath in there, hug the knees into the chest, give yourself a little rock from side to side, and you are all done. I'm sure you can see now why that is such a popular class at the workshop. Try to move through the rest of your day, enjoying all of the space that you just created in your body, and maintain a connection to your breath. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope to see you again soon.